This is a suit that I'm making now. I don't know if I should say his name, but he's a pretty famous guy.
You can say.
I can say it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is Jimmy Fallon suit. This is one of the suits that I made for him. If you watch Jimmy Fallon's show, you see most of the time he wears my suits. This is one, he's got a comfort fitting, and we'll finish it up. Us Italian have a mentality that the tailors, they're only in Italy. They're no other place in the world. Questa è una foto che è uscita sul New York Times.
Sei tu?
Sì, sono io e mi sbagliarono il nome, guarda. Guarda. And if there are tailors anywhere else, they're not as good as the Italians. But we can't get help anymore. There's no tailors left. And I'm 78. I don't know how long I can work. So I had my store since 1968. So what does that make? 56 years. Once I'm done, my business is kaput. Done. Finished. Mm-hmm. So I go play soccer.
Joe, the one thing I wouldn't do on this YouTube thing, I wouldn't let them know you're a tailor. You're wearing too many colors.
I know.
My wife told me you only wear 3 colors. That's it, no more. 4 or 5 colors when you go out, that's too much. I was born in a little town in province of Avellino. The name of the town is Stroll.
Questo sono io, questa è mia mamma, questa è mia sorella che lavora qui. I grew up on a farm. My parents were farmers. Right after the war, that was the only way to put food on the table. If you're a farmer, you grow your own potatoes, your own tomatoes. But it was a heavy work, and I was very skinny. Questo era mio papà, questa è mia mamma, e questo sono io, guarda. Il pantalone e scarpe, tutte le foto che tu hai visto, io avevo sempre lo stesso pantalone, la stessa camicia e le stesse scarpe.
Tutti i giorni.
Sì, tutti quelli erano. E io ci sono qua. Questo sono io. Quei tempi non è che c'era il trattore, le macchine, non c'era niente, tutto a mano. So my mother said, the needle is very light. You become a tailor. So I didn't go to school. I quit at 6th grade. Si doveva imparare, come dicevamo noi, il mestiere. Allora, mo ti faccio vedere. E tutti imparavano a fare il sarto, il barbiere, il muratore. Questo il sarto non è un mestiere, è un'arte. Il pantalone che facciamo noi ci vuole 3 giorni di lavoro, tutto prettamente fatto a mano. Allora così ho iniziato. Io ho iniziato quando avevo 11 anni. And I went to apprentice school for many years. And I got to like the idea to become a tailor because you see people dressed up. I said, one day maybe I can look like them, Sono amico con l'ago dal 57. But in my town there was no future. There was nothing there. So at 18 I left. I went to Germany. I was there almost 3 years. The Germans at that time in 1963, they were looking for tailors. So I got a job right away. Then they paid me. They paid every 2 weeks. So they paid me and gave me a piece of paper. I said, what the hell is this? I said, where's the money? I had no idea what check was. So I told my brother, I said, when the hell are they going to pay me? My brother, they paid you. I said, where's the money? That's the money. That's the check. You go to the bank and you cash it. I said, oh my God. So I had no idea. I loved Germany. I learned so much in Germany. In that business, in clothing, they were so much ahead of us, ahead of the Italians. So the Italians didn't have factory in Germany. They were like the Americans. Già c'avevano le macchine per cucire elettriche. Io non l'avevo mai vista. E che cos'è questo? But my dream was to come to New York. I used to dream that I drove a car in New York. All the time I had dreams. And finally in 66, they allowed us to come here. We came, my mother, my father, my sister that is here, and my youngest brother. I learned the little English that I know, talking to people, and I liked it. I love English language. When we came here in 66, we had to go to the American Embassy in Naples for an interview. I had lived in Germany for almost 3 years, and I couldn't come to America because I didn't have a release from the police in Frankfurt where I was if I had committed any crime. He said, you can't go. I said, what do you mean I can't go? He said, you can't go because we don't know if you committed a crime, you killed somebody there. We have no idea. We have to have a release from the police. This Italian lady, she said, we'll let you talk to the consulate. So I went, talked to him. He spoke pretty good Italian. And he asked me what kind of work you did in Germany. And I said, I am a tailor.
He said, "Sei sarto?" I said, "Yes, I am a tailor." If I didn't say I am a tailor, probably wouldn't let me go. When I told the guy that I am a tailor. Oh, 1, 2, 3, says, "Yeah, you can go." You know how long he was my customer? Since 1981.
But when I say change my life, you know what he used to do for me? Shirts, suits, ties, shoes, overcoats, everything, and he would number
10
them.
10 suits at a time.
He would number them because I had 50 of them in my closet, and I couldn't put together what ties go with what shirts go with. He did everything and helped make me a success.
And look good. Look good.
No, not and look good. You dress for success.
That's right.
And I dressed for success because of him and became successful.
Can you believe that's 40 years ago?
So what I'm saying to you is that you could tell me a pair of pants is $5,000, and if I had that kind of money, I would pay it. Because he's worth it. Like, he's up at nighttime thinking about an effing button.
Son of a bitch.
Why? Because that's what his trade means to him. There are no more tailors left in America.
Then I got to know this friend of mine that I sold fabric, a company called Beckenstein. Beckenstein is 100 years old. So this guy introduced me to a lot of tailors in Manhattan. I have never seen such a great tailors. I mean, these guys, they were so ahead of us. I mean, these guys, they were working with a different mentality, and we were 100 years behind them. So New York, in my opinion, had the greatest tailors in the world, by far. Not in London, not in Milan, not in Naples. I got to know some of these tailors in the city, and some of them had 10, 15 tailors working. There used to be a clothing store in the city called Barneys. Barneys was world famous. Barneys had 110 tailors doing the alterations. 110. There's very few factories that had 110 tailors. A factory that made suits. These stores in the city, they're all gone now, but what was here in the 70s, and if you see the way the Americans dressed, and if you see a movie from the 40s and 50s, American man dressed the best. And you see Armani, if you remember Armani, the big shoulders, the big pants, that's who he copied. He copied the Americans of the 40s.
Quando sono venuto qui ho dovuto scegliere la quantità o la qualità. Ho scelto la qualità. Questo per fare un'asola di questa qua, dall'inizio alla fine ci vogliono 175 punti. E vuoi vedere? Adesso ti faccio vedere un po' la fodera.
In 68, I opened my little store, England Cove, and I did very well. And then I opened a big store in Roslyn, which I sold the best that Italy made.
Guarda questi dettagli.
Companies like Brioni, like Zegna, and so forth, so on.
Guarda qua.
And then I sold it, and then came here to Locust Valley because I can't stay home, so I got to do something. So I came here, and I started all over again with a little store. But this business, there's absolutely no future. First of all, a man doesn't get dressed anymore. Number two, it got too expensive to get dressed up.
Everything is made here, made to see.
My suits go for around $10,000.
It takes 120 hours to make a suit.
Depends on the fabric. So not that many people can afford it anymore.
This is a pure cashmere. The cashmere is from Scabal. Scabal makes the finest fabric in the world, in my opinion. Now you see all these details. I will not repeat it for anybody else, unless somebody copies it. So this coat is $12,000.
I had 8 people working. It's only 2 of us now. There's nobody left. If you have a regular store and you want to put suits in the store, in stock, the way I used to, so you got to deal with the Italian companies, just can't buy it anymore. Italian suits are out of sight. The prices are crazy. I used to sell a lot of shoes. You can't sell shoes anymore. They're too expensive.
Quasi impossibile a comprare il tessuto dall'Italia. Si può comprare nemmeno i bottoni. This is a shirt that I made for a customer from Wyoming. Look at all these details. Però affinché la mattina mi posso mettere le scarpe, I gotta finish it up. Gotta put the buttonholes. Mi metto le scarpe e vengo a lavorare perché non so fare niente. Look at this. So solo fare il sarto. Fare il sarto è facile. And this is all by hand, there's no machine. Per saperlo fare che è difficile. Guarda that crap. Non è facile farlo, saperlo fare è un'altra cosa. Quello che hai fatto oggi non è buono domani. Questi qui sono disegni come quando sono andato a scuola, vedi? E specialmente se finisci un capo, tu la guardi, vedi sempre qualcosa sbagliato. Se non vedi qualcosa sbagliato non sei un sarto bravo. Ci credo che sapevo fare queste cose. Di scegliere di fare un'altra cosa, anche che sono diventato vecchio, no, perché io amo fare quello che faccio. Adesso ho 50 clienti. Ogni cliente creo il modello. Cliente ci faccio il modello, vedi? Ho clienti che quando ho iniziato erano di vita 30, adesso sono 45. Un paio di mesi fa ho perso 2 clienti, tutti e 2 di 94 anni. Allora i miei clienti sono tutti vecchi. I became an American citizen. I vote. That is a saying in English, I never look back. Do I miss Italy? Absolutely not. And I don't want to know nothing about them. I hope they all do well. And I am fine here. When I was growing up, there were 3 people in the world that I thought they were so different than me and everybody else. Like, I don't know, like I eat, they don't eat. I drink, they don't drink. They're from another world. One was Pele. And the other one was Elvis Presley. But my favorite of all time was John F. Kennedy. You watch the telegiornale and you see John Kennedy. Oh my God, this is unreal. I mean, he's so different. And really, he was no different than me. But he had something. He had charisma. He had something that you had to like the guy. In the later years, when I came here to America, I met so many famous people. This is one of the most famous person in the world. He's the guy that discovered DNA. This is Mr. Watson. He's a customer of mine. I made a lot of suits for him. He's about 96, I think now, and he's a super person. And rich people. Uno dei più ricchi al mondo con la mia cravatta, vedi? Sai chi è questo?
Ah, Warren Buffett.
Il terzo più ricco al mondo. Veste solo cravatte mie. What I do, I only deal with wealthy people. But I tell you the beauty of the American rich. They're so much different than the Italians. That's the owner of Scabal, the best fabric company in the world, right there. And this is me with a friend of mine, Scar, in front of my store. The rich Italians, if you're poor, they make you feel poor. They look at you and say, you're not like me. The Americans are completely different. I have customers that are billionaires. That millionaire is billionaire with a B. I am more important than them. To them, I am so important. 2 weeks ago, I go to my friend's deli and I see this customer of mine. Questi sono disegni che ho fatto nell'82-83. È lo stesso con questo. Waiting online, I said, what are you doing? He said, buying a chicken cutlet sandwich. I said, oh, good. This guy, he has a chef at home. He's the richest guy in Long Island. And he looked at him and said, maybe I should buy for him. I should pay for him. So this is the beauty of America. Immagine un po', 40 anni fa. In Italy, you don't see that. It's a completely different world.
E questo sei tu?
Questo sono io, molti anni fa, e questo sono anche io nell'81. Questo qui. Io qui a New York, Long Island, non la cambio nemmeno con Monaco. Sono qui, non la cambio con nessuno, perché qui puoi fare quello che vuoi. Con il trofeo più vecchio al mondo. Non puoi fare il presidente perché non sei nato qua. Quello di Aki. Questo è un trofeo che se un giocatore che gioca all'hockey non vince il trofeo non lo può toccare. E io l'ho toccato. Questo qua, qui sei libero di fare quello che vuoi. E 40 anni fa, 41. E questo che facciamo noi qui? Sono tanti anni che lo facciamo, usiamo i migliori tessuti che esistono al mondo, però di nuovo il futuro non c'è più. Io ho la Ferrari nel garage e dimmi un sarto in Italia che c'ha la Ferrari. What I have, it wasn't easy to get. My daughter Lucrezia and my son Gilberto, I don't remember them small because I always work. Questo è un pantalone. Sometimes 20 hours a day. Prettamente fatto a mano. Tutto fatto a mano. I don't regret. My kids grew up with a beautiful swimming pool in the backyard. They went to college. Questa è una giacca. Ha fatto la foto a questa. A questa. So America is, as bad as it is, still the best country in the world. There's nothing that even comes close. È prettamente tutto fatto a mano.
Oh, I love Long Island. There's nothing better. I mean, everything is here.
Guarda come finiamo le maniche, guarda.
I mean, you want to go to the beach, you go to the beach. You want to go to Manhattan, it's 20 miles. You're in the middle of Manhattan, the capital of the world. What is not to like here?
Adesso ti faccio vedere. Di una città che si può paragonare a nessuno al mondo. Io l'ho girata quasi, sono stato a Buenos Aires, sono stato in Germania, non c'è nessuno che li può imitare. Adesso tu mi parli di dettagli, adesso ti faccio vedere.
It's a different world. The other thing with the beauty of America is all these people from different culture, different than us, and everything is accepted.
Guarda che dettagli. Il mio cognome è Grella, guarda che dice. Sturno, New York. Sturno è il mio piccolo paese dove sono nato.
There's no difference. If you're a nice person, you're a nice person. Doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter where you're from. It makes no difference.
Questi lavori fatti se vai alla Luna forse ci sono, ma sulla Terra no.
I'm not a fullback. He's the fullback, not me.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm the goalie.
And like you saw on Sunday, we were playing with 6 or 7 different nationalities. We all tease each other, we're all friends.
Look at this, look at this, look at this.
They go out for a beer, I don't.
Well, I would have given it to Joe. Joe,
you know, I don't drink,
I
but.
It to Joe.
I have no respect.
Yeah.
This is 45 years old. Everybody tells me to throw it away. I will never throw it away.
The other thing that I wanted to tell you.
Did you ever see a hat like this?
When I was in Italy at that time, there was one TV in the town.
Juventus and Ferrari. I don't have Juventus, but I have a Ferrari. All right?
So I was Juventino. My favorite player was Boniperti.
Il mio numero preferito, il numero di Boniperti.
By the way, Juventus is not good looking anymore.
Oh, what's going on? Oh my God!
Used to be good looking. Used to be beautiful. Used to be a great team. Not anymore.
Oh my God! You guys are get Big Bobby! Get Big Bobby!
In the later years, I used to go and watch Juventus. I used to leave on Friday and come back on Monday just to go watch the game.
Oh my God!
But I sat there with Boniperti, with the president of Juventus. So not that many people could do that. So I was fortunate enough. I went in the dressing room, talked to the players. And one thing that I regret, and I think about it all the time. Agnelli's brothers were sitting like 10 feet away from me, and I didn't take a picture with Johnny Agnelli.
There's a man here. Oh my God! Damn it! Didn't I tell you there's a man here?
I mean, what a stupid guy I was. And by the way, John Agnelli spoke English perfect.
Never stop talking, man. Never.
And I didn't take a picture with him. Now he's dead. And maybe in the other, when we meet somewhere.
Lasso!
Good play, guys. So did Joe score?
No, I didn't score. Oh, man. It was going in? Yeah. So nobody says good save. Nobody.
Giuseppe, how many fingers do I have?
Huh?
How many fingers do I have?
Joe, 4.
Joe, how many fingers I have?
Hey, mark up. Let's go. 7.
Good, you're good.